Errol Spence willing to remove himself off of the pound-for-pound rankings to get his brother Jermell Charlo on the list after a sensational performance. Knockout win over Brian Castano. Man, now, hey, stop that cap. Can we get Jermell Charlo, aka Twin Charlo, and he tagged him, on the pound-for-pound ranking? I don't give a uck. Replace him with me. So Errol Spence is willing to concede his ranking to get his brother Jermell Charlo, Twin Charlo, now undisputed at 154 on the list. Now, I already made a video about this, and conveniently, Mr. Spence Jr. tweets this. So I made a video. Make sure you guys check that full length We Unpack coming to you live. So I'm not sure if it got by and Errol had a chance to see the video, but this is definitely the talk of boxing, is how Jermell Charlo is not on the pound for pound rankings. And although I understand it, why Errol Spence is saying what he's saying, I disagree. I don't think he should have to sequester his spot on the list and just go away and topple off the list just so Jermell Charlo could be here. And in fact, both of them should be on the list and should stay on the list until somebody else, removes them from the list by beating them in the ring. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment. The video goes a long way. So that's the only thing I disagree with. Errol Spence said this last night as well, like basically, hey, take me off the list. So I get it. He's basically saying, do whatever you got to do, but my brother earned that. Jermell Charlo needs to be on the list. But the fact is, they both need to be on the list. Some people even have Errol Spence number 1 on the list, right? So it shows you that Errol Spence is being selfless, and he's saying, I make money, my family's good, my health is now good, so I don't really care about stuff like that. You know what I mean? This is how I'm interpreting it. I don't really care about this list and stuff, but you do need to recognize my stablemate, also trained by Derek James. Wow. So what you've been seeing on the screen is, on the left, ESPN most recent pound for pound list. There is no Jermell Charlo on the top 10. 10, yes, 10. They could think of 9 other fighters that deserve to be there and not Jermell Charlo. On the right side, this is the most recent Ring Magazine list. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. And Jermell Charlo has not been on the list. Now with the type of commitment, the demonstration, and the performance showed by Jermell Charlo, it's really gonna look bad and make people question and probably pull out their magnifying glasses, raise their antennas as to how or why Jermell Charlo remains off the list. Now, the amazing thing about what I do, and I knew this years ago, that's why I chose this path to be a YouTuber. But the amazing thing is, YouTube, my whole body of work has been recorded. It's like Dear Diary. It's like the Diary of Anne Frank, or, these different relics throughout history where passages and transcripts come to light from historic moments throughout our history. Like somebody war torn, they wrote a manifesto, or they wrote these passages, journaled what went on during the war, and then when they come to light, you get to see them. Or sometimes if there's a celebrity, like we'll say Tupac Amaru Shakur. Tupac Shakur, after he passed, people go and digging through the crates and archives, and they find a lot of his poetry and things that he wrote maybe when he was 13, 14 years old in high school. And these transcripts pop up. The rose that grew from the concrete. Jermell Charlo, he's one of those roses. He's one of the roses that grew from concrete, just to connect the two, where you see active mainstream old media, they don't have him on the top 10 list. And then now it's crazy, because how are you going to keep him off the list after what he's done at 154 junior middleweight? And he just entered the history books, literally, in stopping Brian Castano. And you guys have to understand, just a quick note about boxing, some of these divisions weren't here 50 years ago, 80 years ago, a century ago. Boxing's been around the art of boxing has been around for a long time, and it's seen several shifts. Back in the day, they used to have unlimited rounds. Oh, he crumbled him. Look at that leg. Wow. They used to have unlimited rounds. Later, as history went on, they went to like 15 rounds, and now the doctors and physicians deem that 12 rounds is probably adequate. And, you know, you increase your chances thereafter of fighters getting, you know, long-term effects of punishment when they're in them grueling fights. So boxing, you definitely don't play boxing. But we've also seen gloves. If you look at the old gloves, they used to look like batting gloves or something, like no padding, things like that. So we've seen a lot of transitions in the sport of boxing. So one of them is super middleweight and junior welterweight. Before, back in the day, guys would have to just move up. If you were welterweight, you might have to move up to middleweight. You know what I mean? Because there weren't these in-betweener divisions. So without a doubt, this performance, and boy, did Jermell Charlo win by statement. He knocked out Castano and became the first ever junior middleweight 154-pounder to become undisputed. And he had quite the path to do it. So back to what I was starting to say before this, you look at YouTube and you look at what I do, the great thing about it is there's a paper trail for everything. I've left you guys breadcrumbs. I've maintained the same things. I've said the same statements. I've always respected the Charlo brothers. I've always given their just due. I've always told you that Jermell was being wronged because he had the Ring Magazine belt. This is before the first Castano fight, right? And he had the Ring Magazine belt, but he can't get on the list. In fact, this is my website. What does that say on my website, boxingego.com? It says Jermell Charlo rejected on Ring Magazine's top 10. Somehow, Jermell doesn't make the list, even though he has the Ring Magazine belt, Boxing Ego. So again, like I said, this is my diary. This is my journals. This is my diary of Anne Frank. You guys see this article and post on my website, and you look at the date, and it's from April 7th, 2021. And I was questioning, and I was going against the system. And there's not enough people in boxing like me. And what I mean by that is willing to stand on their square, even if something is unpopular. I don't care if it's popular, if it's unpopular. I'm going to speak my mind, and ain't nobody going to do nothing about it, right? So I say these things. I'm on the front line of battle, and it doesn't necessarily pay dividends right away, but in the end, it does pay dividends. So I was questioning this years ago. Why is Jermell Charlo being disrespected? Now, through continued sacrifice and hard work and consistency. Consistency is more important than perfection. But through that, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It's a must. If you like the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Take the few seconds that it takes. But consistency is more important than perfection. And when it comes to the world of boxing, Jermell Charlo's been a model citizen. He's been very consistent. His output, his performances. When you watch the Charlos, both of them, the Charlo brothers, you know what you're getting into. You know it's going to be a fight. You know they got the heart of lions. You know there's going to be some power. There's going to be a display of skills. There's going to be a battle of wills, potentially, depending on what the other person brings. Like when Montiel wouldn't go away, you know Jermell Charlo is going to keep staying in there fighting. These boys can fight. They got heart. And as far as Jermell, particularly who we're focused on in this video, this is a statement. He bodied Charlo, crumbled the man. And this is the guy that people were saying, oh, he beat you and, you know, you lost and you're a fake champion because he really beat you and all this other type of stuff. That's why Charlo went bad on ESPN. He's like, are you sure you want to give me credit now? You always got something to say. Now you have no choice but to respect me. Well played, Charlo. Well played. And for old media, they look crazy. They look absolutely stupid because they haven't got behind the right fighters. And I'm going to make several parts to this video. This is just the beginning. But you don't want to get behind certain fighter. We're in America, and you have American companies that don't want to help the Charlo brand, and he American fighter. That's why he was chanting "Go USA" and stuff. Look what he's doing to this man. Look what he's doing to this man. And this was a formidable foe that we all respect and we all know can fight. And Charlo dispatched of him statement victory. Wow. So old media, they look crazy because they've been trying to make Jermell and Jermell Charlo the best kept secret. But them Texas boys ain't coming to play. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and I'm up. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.